Hey everybody, I got Russell Lissau here, writer of the Batman Strikes, and we're going to find out what's going on in his world a little bit over here. Hey Russell, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great today. So, when did you first discover the love for comic books?
I've been reading comics since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. My grandfather and other relatives supplied me very early on with comics as something to do and something to read, and I was hooked. From then on, I was hooked, and I've been collecting comics nearly all my life.
Awesome. And who were some of your favorites?
From the beginning, I was always a Batman fan, hands down. I loved the X-Men, the Justice Society, and the All-Star Squadron when I was a little kid. As I got older, my taste changed, and now I read everything from superhero books to Vertigo titles and Image, and Fell is one of my favorite titles now that Warren Ellis writes and Ben Temple-Smith draws. 100 Bullets, top of the list. Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. My tastes pretty much run the gamut.
How did you get started on doing Batman Strikes?
Well, I got into Batman Strikes because my editor on that title was one of the co-editors on my first book, Batman Allies Secret Files 2005. I was offered the opportunity to write for Strikes and pitch for that title, and I jumped at it, and I've been one of the regular writers ever since.
What other titles would you maybe be interested in writing?
That's a good question. I'll say this: there isn't a title that I wouldn't be interested in doing. You'd be foolish to say no to work. Some of the other books that I'd really like to do, I'd love to do a Daredevil story or a Daredevil arc. I'd love to do an X book, as so many comic book writers and artists do. In fact, I've pitched books to Marvel, proposals to Marvel, and I hope one day I'll latch on there. There's some other DC characters that I'd like to take a whack at too.
How about original characters? What are maybe some of your favorite characters you've come up with?
Well, I haven't come up with any original superheroes per se. The original work that I've done, for the most part, has been creator-owned and non-superheroic. I've got a graphic novel that hopefully will be coming out in 2009 or 2010 called The Job, and that's a crime story. It's set in reality. It's no capes or cowls allowed. It's strictly a noir crime story. But in the superhero world, the character that I'm most proud of creating is a Gotham City television reporter named Meredith Van Zyl, who is based on my daughter and my best friend. It's a combination of their names, and she's appeared in 3 stories.
You know, stuff like The Watchmen now, the movie's coming out. Do you think those kind of characters are becoming more interesting to the comic book reader?
Well, there's really an ebb and flow in any kind of industry like this. You go from hard-boiled, kind of more real-world, darker stories to, you know, the grand celestial stories that DC has been putting on now. The Marvel stories, for the most part, even though everyone's wearing capes and cowls, they're more based in the real world. They're based in New York, they're based in Los Angeles. DC right now, with Crisis and Final Crisis and all of their big crossover stories, those are big universal events. And a little bit more fantastic. Like I said, there's an ebb and flow. You'll see more realistic stories when you look at Vertigo, when you look at Oni or IDW, and some of the titles they've got going. But there's always going to be, I think, a desire for capes and cowls stories.